Yo, it's your boy Rush. I'm in the building promoting my side hustle, Rush Enterprise. If you're in the state of New Jersey, you need you need armed guards or unarmed guards. Just call up my business line, and I'll get back to you. But my voicemail box is full, so just hit me up on the DMs until I get everything situated. Today I got a special guest. He go by the name of JayB Reacts. This guy's official like tissue. Yo, JB, let the people know who you were. Give them your MO. You're
Yes, so I'm JB Reacts, man. I'm on YouTube. I just try and present content that I vibe with, things that I have either agreements with or disagreements with. Definitely centered towards male improvement for sure. Because I'm not gonna lie, us as males, we have a hard time a lot of the time growing up. I know me myself for sure. I definitely had my trials and tribulations. Having a mother pass away early, having two brothers in the music industry, trying to navigate being alone a lot of the time, having to live with my father after a certain amount of time and understanding how to transition into being more of a male figure and then getting married, wife and kids. So the list goes long on and on. But yeah, but I appreciate you for having me on here for sure.
and I appreciate you coming through. We have something in common. I lost my mother at a lost age, so it's never easy to lose
Yeah.
a parent. It's just
Hmm.
that
Yeah, no, for
the
sure.
pain lessens up the load as the years go by. But that pain never goes away.
That's
I
true.
mean, thank you so much for coming through, King. My first
Yes,
question
sir.
for you would be,
Hmm.
yo, I think your channel is incredible. It's similar. I don't know if you ever heard of the Lapeef Network, but you got
Yeah.
the similar style of it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just want to know, where do you get your inspiration to put out great content like you do now?
I'm gonna be honest, man. Starting off, because I tried YouTube a few times, like in my 20s. It just I wasn't consistent, not confident. I didn't have the confidence to say I want to keep, continuing or whatnot. But I would say three main figures. Kevin Samuels for sure, Fresh and Fit, and Anton Daniels. Those three units definitely drove me to say I need to improve. I need to be better. I need to not be fearful as a man or whatnot. And that definitely kept me on the journey to say I need to do this. I need to continue it. And also, there are some others behind the scenes. My wife definitely was a big inspiration, and my two older brothers who are in the music industry, they definitely had a big impact on me. Just wanting to be successful and just not wanting to just do the everyday thing.
Word up. Now, if you don't mind me asking, like, who's your brothers and what exactly do they do within the hip
So
hop industry?
back in like 2008, 2009, my older brothers, they were like top 5 songwriters in LA. They used to go by the Jackie Boys. They used to work together. Unfortunately, they don't work together anymore, just from differences, but both of them still they still do things cater towards music. They've written for Justin Bieber, Madonna, Lil Wayne, Flo Rida, that song Sugar. They wrote that. My oldest brother, he wrote a song with T.I. and Charlie Wilson, I'm Blessed. My older brother wrote that. My other brother, he was in country music also. Also, that's where I kind of transitioned from with my middle brother. He wrote a song with Luke Combs called One Number Away. So they have a long line of I'm not gonna lie when it comes to like their lineage and music. They started out singing on the street. They went to LA. They made it out there. They was just in different circles, just making music. And then now just fast forward, it's where it's at now. So definitely been a journey for them, man. I'm definitely proud of them dudes for sure.
Word, word. I mean, it sounds like they're pretty seasoned in the game, man. Because
Yeah.
the industry's, it's kind of cutthroat, man.
Hmm.
But by them making that record with help to write that record for Flow Rider, Sugar, that's probably a nice check right there because he's more of a pop artist.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they kind of started out in like pop, R&B, and then a little, not a lot of rap, but then they kind of transition into country. And then my oldest brother is still into like pop and a little bit of Latin music.
Yeah, that's where the money's at. That Latin
It's
country
true.
pop, that's where the
It
money's
is.
at. I mean,
That's true.
you
That's
never
true.
go wrong being in that circuit of the entertainment field over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Um, yeah, I'm about to get a little spicy right now. You heard?
Hey, I'm
So
with it.
I want I
Let's
want
get
to
it.
know what's your thoughts on. Do you think body count matters when it comes to abroad? Talk to me.
I'm gonna be honest, man. It's gonna be two different dynamics when it comes down to like, does the body count matter? When it comes to taking her serious in a real relationship, possibly like marriage or just being anything you gotta fully commit to, possibly paperwork, yes, it's possibly gonna matter. But if it's just more of a situation to where y'all possibly just gonna be, kind of in and out having fun, I'm not saying that's probably what a guy probably should look for, but we all know it's gonna happen. So if you're just trying to have some fun, you're not gonna be thinking about the body count if she bringing everything else that you want. But for the long haul, me getting married to a chick, I really, if it comes up, because like I said, I said this on my panels prior. What I don't know don't hurt me. But if any of that shows itself eventually, or it comes out to where you start seeing the traits and the habits from having a high body count, where you comparing me to a lot of your previous experiences, or you just possibly going out and probably trying to be do some infidelity. That's how I split it up between the body count situation. But hopefully a woman wouldn't even bring it up.
Yo, my thing is like, yeah, as far as like, dating or whatever, and you know, you know what I'm saying? Doing the
Mhm.
pump and dump, I could understand that. Know what I mean, you
Yeah.
don't care about the body count, but I think when it comes to wifing up a female, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think she needs that hymen, man, before she get a diamond. Word is
No,
born.
said
Know
the
what I mean?
hymen. That's facts. I feel that. I feel that. I feel that.
Word
Because I mean that's when you're gonna get the best. When like my wife right now, she was a virgin. And when you just can get into something that hasn't had any experience or trauma behind it, it's a way better bond because now you're gonna be the one imprinting her 100%. So now let's say y'all split up. Now she got to compare everybody to you, you know, whether it's good or bad. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully y'all don't split up. But it's just better doing it like that opposed to a woman who done tried this and tried that. You ain't gonna be able to really figure out what you want. A lot of bouncing around. Oh, yeah.
Yo, you brought up
Hmm.
the imprint. I think that's like, and you're a wise man to even bring that up because
Yeah.
most dudes they don't understand like you can't rewrite a female sexual imprint. You know what I mean? From a
Yeah.
biological perspective, if she
Yeah.
has one mate, fam, you know what I mean?
One.
It's a 50% chance she won't have the capability to pair bond with you fully. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So my
Yeah.
motto is like, yo, if a chicken, you know what I mean? She ain't got that hymen, man. She definitely for the streets. That's just my
That's facts.
personal opinion. Now, most times will be like, yo, son, you bugging. But yo,
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, man. We done veered off from the basic biblical principles, man. Know what I mean?
Facts.
And one
And
of
the
the principles is, man, you're not supposed to wife up a bird. Know what I
That's
mean?
true. That's true. And like you said about the whole shaming, how a lot of guys feel like, man, you tripping, bro. You really care if the body count is low or high. The thing about it is, if it's high in a lot of situations, it's gonna show itself some way, shape, or form. See, they don't think about that. For a chick who goes out there and has multiple experiences, um, it's gonna show itself in a relationship, whether it be through her possibly cheating on you, or her just being extra promiscuous in other ways, her wanting a lot of attention. But when you can have that female that has not been through a lot, it's gonna be a way better sound relationship. Not saying she might not have bad habits, but you just gonna be a lot safer in the situation. I'm gonna say that.
I totally agree with you on that, man. I mean,
Yeah.
most dudes, they kind of give me a hard time when I say that because it's like, yo, where you gonna find a virgin at? I mean, I think we got so used to the point where
Hmm.
uh, a large portion of people within our country tend to
Hmm.
wipe out a smiz. Know what I mean? A
Yeah.
cum
Yeah.
bucket, and that's not
Yeah.
that's not a wise thing to do. That's a bad investment. Know what I mean?
That's
And
bad.
I, and I want to follow. I want to give you an alley with another question. Like, yo,
Hmm.
do you think the divorce rate is at a high rate because we don't follow basic biblical principles like back in the day?
um Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. I think that's exactly why. I think really the role of I'm gonna be honest, man. a lot of women will blame guys and say that guys are the problem. But a lot of women, they just have too much in their face and their emotions are fleeting. You know, their emotions are fleeting to the point to where they just can't stick around with the regular guy. You know, the guy that works his job, tries to provide for his family. Everybody wants such a higher lifestyle. Everybody not gonna be able to achieve the higher lifestyle. Some people are just gonna live. I think everybody's so caught on being into the next area when they can't even thrive in their own area. It's like, you know, it's not saying that you can't improve your life, but when you feel like you're just, you know, you playing this main character, a lot of women will say they the main character or whatnot. It's like, ma'am, you still very regular. The guys also, sir, you still very regular. Get find you a good girl that you can stick with, that's gonna rock with you, be with her, you know. But I feel like it happens on both sides. You have guys and females that end up leaving the partner that they probably supposed to be with, and then they look back and they say, "Dang, I missed out on a good one." And I've heard guys say that, and I've heard girls say that.
I mean, I'm gonna give you some pushback on that. I think
Okay.
overall, most dudes they
Mhm.
will sacrifice their well being to preserve a
Mhm.
relationship. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's just and the stats shows
Mm.
you it, man. Like yo, for female, the divorce rate with the divorce rate is like over 50%, and 90% of the
Yeah.
divorce divorces are initiated by the female. Know what I mean,
Mhm.
it's at
Mhm.
90% if she goes to college or whatever. But
Yeah.
know what I mean, that's just
But
a part of
because
the.
if
You know
you
what I mean, yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, if you think about it, you know, it's always gonna be that female out there that the guy might look at and say, like, I'm gonna just say this. I know guys who literally pass up on girls because they don't give good head. I'm gonna be honest. That's why I say I don't want to sit here and say it's only, you know, the females, which it don't get me wrong, it's a large percentage of the females. But I do know guys in the situation to where they want something and then they'll push away good things for simple, minute things, you know. So I will say that it really gonna boil down to what you want. If you really want something serious, you probably could find it out there. It's still gonna be hard, but you know we have to kind of push aside some of the small things that we dwell on the most. And especially I always talk about whole like with like, you know, sex or whatnot. Of course everybody want to have sex for sure, but you ain't gonna be fucking every day of your life. You know, you're not gonna be fucking 24/7. You know, you ain't it's gonna be very situational. You know, you probably gonna do it a few times a week. You know, don't get me wrong, you might have the moments where you really want to go at it. But for the most part, you know, it's gonna be a lot of getting to know the person and y'all actually holding each other down. You know, that's how I look at it too.
Where no, I mean, I agree. I mean, with that, my next question
Mhm,
for you would be like, yo, what's your thoughts on females on Instagram
mhm.
displaying their goods on Instagram? Do you think they are deemed worthy to be wifey material?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all, man. The chicks that's like constantly is it okay if I cuss?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead, Curse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
females that's constantly showing ass constantly, they gonna put themselves in a certain box. You know, a lot of them now they think that they being liberated. They feel like it's free. Oh, I can do whatever I want to do. I can show as much skin as I want. You know, this is my body, my choice. Okay, they don't realize that they put themselves in a certain category now, to where guys is really gonna look at them as a sex object, and it's really gonna be the guys that they want. Now, the guys who are, you know, gawking over them, those guys would probably take them serious because they just happy they had a chance. But guess what? The women don't want them guys. So the guys that they trying to attract and be around, those guys are gonna be like, yeah, you bust down material. So once they acquire that possibly high level guy that they like, yo, I really like this guy. He already thinking in the back of his head, like, yo, you probably for the streets. You some work. You know, you got your cheeks all out. You're not gonna get taken serious. And then, you know, like I said with Instagram, man, it's also tainting a lot of the minds of guys too, man. We constantly seeing it all the time. That's another thing too that's kind of tainting a lot of young guys. So
Right. I guess it gives them a false perception on reality on what the average chick is. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
know what I mean? It's like, you know what
because
I mean? So, I mean, this
you
is
got a
when
lot of
people
beauty.
talk. Like, I don't see it. I see regular
Mhm,
niggas with regular broads on the regular. You know what I
for
mean?
sure.
So, like, I don't think dudes have that problem,
Yeah,
but I think most females
yeah,
do because, the those apps really cater to those females, man. I mean,
yeah.
like they're the ones that get all the traction and all the
And you
traffic on. You know what I mean? Because you got a lot of thirsty dudes that trying to, you know what I mean?
you know what's
Smash.
sad? a lot of them females are very, very average. A lot of them all ain't above average, man. They kind of they outpricing themselves in the market because they thinking they better what they are, but they just an average female that's willing to show a lot of cheeks. And now they thinking that they value going up because you got a lot of guys validating it. Just because you getting the validation don't mean that you still a valuable chick. Just because you willing to show cheeks or walk around or jump and act like you cleaning up and you really not, or you working out and you really not, you just showing cheeks to get, attention. So it skews their mindset big time. See, guys can't do that. I mean, you still gotta be an exceptional guy to go online and just get real views off of like showing your physicality, your body, shirt off. You gotta put in some work unless you're a genetic freak. But a chick, she could be very basic, show them cheeks and still get attention. So
Yeah, I totally agree with you with that because unattractive females get more traction than an attractive dude, and I don't
yeah.
think people really understand that. Know what I mean, because
Hmm.
like I don't know, man. I mean, I want to get your opinion on that. Like, do you
Yeah.
believe that most females get ran 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 through and get more action than the average male? Like,
Well, yeah, there have been a lot of studies lately that a lot of the recent versions are men. And I just think, just looking back, even in my time period, there was guys would hide it, but it was way more virgins that were guys than I think at one point it was more girls because girls was very selective or whatnot. But as time went on, the guys were the ones that was trying to hide their virginity, and the females had already done experienced situations because they had older guys hitting them up. They was already attracted to the 20-something year olds that was already getting close to busting them, or if they already did. And then it kind of left a lot of guys still in that place where it's like they hadn't had that attention yet. See, a lot of women think when they say like, "Oh, 95% of guys is having sex." No, it's the guy that you looking at that you want to be around that are the ones having sex. But if you just think about a whole bunch of, it's a lot of guys who don't have sex like that. And it's just the reality. It's hard for us to be a single guy and just go out there and get chicks, bro. That should take work, you know a guy, and like I said, a woman to think that a guy's always getting girls, but it's like you can ask her and say, "Hey, do you give every guy a shot?" And no, no, I'm very so that already defeats the purpose. That means that y'all are picking a certain type of guy, so that means certain guys ain't getting it.
yeah, I think I don't know if you believe in this, but the 80
Mhm.
20 rule, like
Okay,
80% of the women is seeking the top
that's a fact.
20% of men. Know what I
That's
mean?
a fact.
So
Yeah,
especially within our community, man, like
man.
because this is there'll be this like a larger portion of females that's having kids, and there's a large percent of dudes not having kids. So
Mm-mm.
therefore, within our community, majority of the females are
Yeah,
sleeping with those same type of male archetype. Know what I mean? And I want you
yeah,
to, I want you to break down the science on that, man. Because every time I talk about it, man, like when I go to
yeah,
panels and I talk about it, people
yeah,
think I'm bugging. So since you're a credible dude with a large audience, man, yo,
yeah.
break down the science on that, man.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you have women, they naturally gonna be attracted to guys who are taller. I mean, most the average percentage of guys over 6 foot is, I think, is like less than 10% of the population. But every woman say they want a guy that's over 6 foot. But also, I still say that that's still capped too, because that's gonna boil down to how successful the guy is. So they'll throw certain standards out the window for certain guys. That's why I say, man, that's why I say a lot of women cap on a lot of what they really want. Of course, if it's gonna be the regular guy, the first thing they probably be looking at is probably gonna be height, certain attraction triggers, things like that. But outside of that, if the guy builds himself up to be something, of a celebrity, and, Kevin Hart, they're not passing up on Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart can go into any room at 5'3", 5'4", and he's still gonna be able to get whatever he want for the most part. And he can ask any of them. They definitely gonna come along. But definitely, man, the brain with females, they definitely look for certain attraction triggers, and I don't think men should be mad at it. It is what it is. But at the same time, just because you expect that, don't mean you're gonna get it. So that's when reality gonna kick in. So ultimately, the women kind of hurt themselves in the long run, thinking that I qualify for a guy that's this height and that height, and what's messing them up is that guy starting to learn that. Back in the day, you could have a dude in high school who was tall, but he thought he was goofy. I was in school plenty of times. Like the tall guys was a lot of time the goofy ones. The shorter guys were the ones that was winning in high school. But it take time sometimes for a guy to really understand his value and his abilities. And after that, that's when once he understands that, now he know, oh, women like me because I'm tall. Now you get more pickings. And now the women are the ones that's gonna be victim of their own choices. So
Where you broke that down to a single molecule, man. I like the way you explain that,
molecule.
man. You know what I
I
mean? Getting
appreciate
these
that.
young pups, you know what I mean, hip to the game, man. Because,
Yeah.
I'm real big on staying sucker free. And staying
Hmm.
sucker free is my campaign, man. And
Yes,
I see a
sir.
lot of dudes out here doing a lot of sucker shit, man. Know what I
Hmm.
mean? And my next question for you would be, yeah, do you think Tory Lanez is gonna make it out of prison alive, man?
I would hope so. I'm not sure exactly with the whole situation. I'm beyond that situation kind of all over the place. I don't really know exactly what's going on with it because they saying at one point Megan lied. He took the rap for it. You got the girl Kelsey in the situation who possibly did or didn't do something. It's really messy. I hate to say this, man. Tory possibly should have just been honest from the beginning. If he didn't do it, he shouldn't have been trying to protect a female. I think from what I heard, he was trying to protect a black female. I'm be honest, brother. If you didn't do it, you shouldn't have, even agreed to taking the rap for it because now you suffering for it. So
Well, I think he's caught up in the limelight of holding a certain protocol within the urban culture, as in the
yeah,
no snitching policy. I think
hmm
he got caught up in that. But if he would have kept it, just been honest about it, it would have been better for him because now,
yeah.
he got poked up 14 times behind the wall. Now, some
Shout
people
out,
was,
shout out to my co-host. I just saw she in the chat. Let her be great.
oh, yo, salute to let her be great. Yo, salute to
Yeah.
you. Word. Yeah, man, like by him, not telling the truth or whatever,
Hmm.
like he put himself in a situation where he got lined up. Some
Hmm.
people are kind of accusing the brand Rockefeller lining him up. And
That's what I heard.
Shorty, yeah, Shorty that run, you know what I mean, that run the
Hmm.
company for Jay. She got a
Yeah.
reputation moving like that, and plus
Yeah.
he's Hispanic, so it don't take nothing to make a phone call, get somebody behind the wall to poke up. You know what I mean?
I'll be
Tory. You
honest.
know
Yeah,
what
I'll
I
be
mean?
honest. Them trying to protect their asset. I could definitely see that. If Megan is an asset, you always gonna spin it to where your person is not liable or not the one at fault. So they don't have no loyalty to Tory. Like, what do they owe Tory? So of course, this game is already very snaky. Like, even the way how my brothers kind of, I wouldn't say they exited, but they had to kind of leave Cali. They kind of got blackballed at one point. So when it comes down to this blackballing game and all this like getting people up out of here, niggas will do shit for less. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
I totally agree with you on that, man. It's a dirty game. It's nasty work when it comes to that industry, man. Know what I mean,
true.
if you're not hip to the game, know what I mean, you might,
Yeah,
you know what I mean, get caught up in the crossfire. Now, my
yeah.
next question for you would be,
Hmm.
yo, do you think AI is gonna put OnlyFans models out of business? And if so, give me the breakdown.
Oh yeah, no, AI is definitely going AI is going to definitely amplify the sex world. I think people still going to probably seek out real attention, but at the same time, it's going to damper the real females because I'm gonna be honest, even if I just did a reaction to a podcast where a porn star was actually stating how she have to take breaks mentally from it because it's just so much having to answer calls, talk to the guys, requests, things like that. So if you have someone who's mentally drained, the AI is never going to get mentally drained. The AI is going to be able to fulfill every need and every fantasy for the guy. So that's why I think it'll probably end up draining itself. Or superseding the female eventually.
Word. Yeah, man. I think it's gonna force them to do things the old school way, like, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
go hit the strip and actually sell their physical box, man. You know what I
Yeah, no
mean?
facts. Yeah.
Cause I mean it's only you know what I mean, it's only a matter of time that happens, man. And shout out to Skylar. He kind of inspired me to even ask this question because he kind of expounded on the sex worker Hunger Games because he feels
Oh wow.
like he feels like in the future there's definitely going to be a drought, and the women that's in the sex working life are gonna have a hard time, selling a product online or whatever how they do it. So they're gonna have to do direct sales, like
Well,
pretty
yeah,
much at your local gas station,
yeah.
your restaurants, your
Yep.
bus stations. They're gonna pretty much solicitate the goods in public, man. You know
I
what I
was just
mean?
about to say
You
that.
think that's you? Yo, she laugh. Yeah, I mean, do you think that's a strong possibility that could probably happen in the next, 3 to 5 years? Talk to me.
Um, yeah, the competition definitely gonna raise itself to a bar to where I think more chicks are probably gonna just start busting it down more consistently out there. That's why I think it's gonna be because even the corn star that was talking about it, she was saying that she still does meetups, and she was saying for her the meetups got to be at least 5 grand. No, you know what? No, the meetups didn't have to be 5 grand, but she said if she getting flued out, minimum 5 grand if she getting flued out. So I think it's gonna get to a point to where they're probably gonna start dealing with the guys who like really, really want it, and maybe on the content level they might start getting beat out by the AI situation. Because I mean, they're still humans at the end of the day, and you got to have a real strong mental to be able to stay in the. That's why I say a lot of these chicks, man, they not really um sexually, they not really built to be in it that long because it's still very draining. Unless you're a nympho or something like that, you might have some that's able to be consistent with it. But for the most that just want to get in and make a buck, they usually get out of it because your mental not gonna be able to stay intact for it.
Yeah, I, I mean, I couldn't even fathom on the amount of different energies you got to deal with. Converse because that like it like 20% of your like when you use your mental power, that's
Hmm.
20% of your physical
That's true.
strength that you using in order just to think. I mean,
Yep.
and for you to sit there all day, politicking with dudes and I mean,
It's too much, man.
sell them
It's
a
too
dream.
much.
It's a lot. So I can
Yeah.
see how that could be mentally draining, man. My next question for you is like, yo, what are your thoughts on women that always make financial situation like a focal point in a first date? Like for example, right? There's a chick on TikTok. She kind of went viral, and she
Hmm.
was like, put out the whole idea of charging men at least $1,000 just to meet up for a date. No, for a down payment to pay her in order for her to link up with you for a date. Like, how crazy is that? Do you think that's a bird attribute? And if so,
That's
break down the signs for that. Know what I mean?
that's definitely a bird attribute. See, that's why I say that's why it's gonna get to the point to where the valuing system is off, where you got chicks that's saying meet up with me for $1,000, but guess what? The sad part is you probably gonna have a guy that's probably gonna do it and participate into it. That's gonna be the sad part. When we possibly reinforce some of those notions that, oh yeah, I'm really that thirsty. So that's why I say the hunger on our side. A lot of chicks have just been able to capitalize off of it, but I think ultimately I just did a live last weekend talking about like how much to pay on first dates. I'm be honest, I'm very against like doing the most. I don't think you should be spending. Honestly, the next videos I'm gonna probably put out from that segment was like the guys were saying it's okay to spend like 1,000 within like the first couple of days, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I'm getting to know you, and if you feeling me, you wouldn't even want me to spend all that. But first of all, if you was a good female, you want to make sure my pockets are protected. You feel me? You don't want me draining or just being wasteful for no reason. You know, so I look at stuff like that first, but any chick that go into it with these expectations that you have to have like a high dollar amount put on top of the situation, that's not something I want to be a part of, man. And I think a lot of guys got to turn it down. But I think our hunger getting the in the place of it, and then we just want it so bad we willing to do anything, and afterwards we feel bad about it. We like, dang, I shouldn't have did that. So yeah, it's a crazy system, man.
Yeah, it's called post nut clarity, man. Know what I mean, as soon as you nut on, know what I mean, you start
It's
to, know what I
over.
mean, yeah, it's over, you
Yeah.
know, and yeah, man. I mean, this is my thoughts on that when women do that, man. Because they don't find the male or whatever male they're linking up with attractive, they
Hmm.
want to be compensated for that. You know what I mean? So that's why they
Yeah.
go off the gate asking for crazy stuff like that. You know, a couple thousand, this and that. I mean, I don't know. Man, I don't know nobody who's a big enough sucker to do something like that. But apparently, they got suckers out there that do it. You know what I mean? And
You
I think
do.
that's insane. You know what I mean? But yo, my thoughts on that is like, yo, she's doing it because she's not digging you like that. You know what I mean, she want to be
That's true.
compensated for that. You know, because you know
That's
a lot
true.
of times when a chick end up with a long term relationship, it's usually a dude that she don't really like that. And I mean, it's because certain circumstances within her life decides that she need to lock in with dude because you know financial reasons. You know what I mean? I want
Yeah.
to get your perspective on that, and if you can, do me the honors to break down the science on that, King.
I think financials is definitely gonna be a part, and depending on the time period of a woman's life, to where okay, yeah, the dude definitely needs to be working, have something going for herself. Not saying he got to be the richest guy out there, but it's gonna be situational for different time points in like a female's life. Because if you getting with a guy right out of high school or college, y'all probably not gonna have no money. So you're not gonna be looking at him just to say like, oh, he has this dollar, he can provide this for me. You definitely gonna be looking at his character. If he cares about you, if he really wants to have you in his best interest to make sure both of y'all will thrive and survive. But I think nowadays you got a lot of chicks just leading with the money aspect, and money gonna come and go. Money gonna be here and money gonna go. But if you with somebody who got good mindset, good morals, that's want to protect and provide for you and stay there for the long haul, that's what's gonna matter more. But I think we just in this world now to where everybody just want a quick buck. It's just a very in and out transactional society. Of course, it's a capitalist society, which is cool. But at the same time, it's just gotten to a point where you can capitalize on everything. So now we're gonna capitalize you being born, we're gonna capitalize on you dying, and we're gonna capitalize on your relationship. So, and that's what's starting to happen now, even more.
What is born now? I want you to, if you can, like, yo, what advice would you give to a female that's in? Because you know, the reason why I'm bringing this up, now,
Hmm.
because you know I'm in the mix. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
I'm around a lot of young folks, and I hear a
Hmm.
lot of females saying, young females like in they, you know, 20s or whatever, saying that yo, they're not ready to settle down. They kind of want to touch the waters to see what's out there for them. What
Yeah.
advice would you give to a young lady on how important it is to take advantage of her youth right now? Because
Yeah.
you know when you pass your prime, niggas is not gonna be on your door knocking down trying to hit something. You basically gonna feel the wrath of being ignored like an average male. Like break
Yeah.
down that science for that young female. Talk
The,
to.
the thing about it, you're gonna have the ones that's gonna get ignored and not be able to get the options or the attention from the ones that they want. But here's the even scarier reality. Once they get to a certain age, they're gonna become put into like a bust down bracket. And that's even scarier to where a lot of these chicks is gonna be used for sex only. A lot of the ones that's getting into like their late 30s or early 40s, they're gonna get to a point to where guys are gonna be hitting them up. They're gonna get that attention at first, but it's usually just gonna be for sex. And they not gonna want to take them serious. And they're gonna be constantly reflecting back, like, damn, these dudes ain't crap. But it's like you only put yourself in that box because you went outside the marketplace in your bracket category. You know what I'm saying? And I think women getting together with guys early on, I think that's probably one of the smartest things they could do. Get with a guy early on, try and rock out with him throughout your 20s, 30s, stay together. But you having that society, that time period, right, is so far gone, and it's really, really sad that it's like that now. But a lot of girls, they don't find their classmates attractive. They really don't. They don't find them as candidates. And it could be a possibility of where the guy side need to improve. But it's a lot of guys out there who are good guys that a lot of the girls just overlook. They look at him as lame. Oh, he don't dress like this. He don't act like this. But once it gets to a certain time point, you're gonna be you after you done been through all your one night stands and your situation, you're gonna look back at that guy and you be like, damn, how you doing? Can we, talk or whatnot? And he might put you in a bust down category. You never know. So
Yeah, I mean the bust down category is equivalent. I mean, would you consider the bust down category is equivalent to a female putting a man in the friend zone? Because no dude want to be in the front.
yeah.
Want to be in the friend zone because you know
Mhm.
it's just not a good situation for you. You know what I mean? Because you're not
Yeah.
going to get that. type
Uh,
of strong bond with that female, like, you know what I mean, to
yeah,
that
it's
next
so
level.
many.
You know what I mean,
Yes, my bad to cut you off. It's so many guys that's in the that's in the friend zone, and yeah, a lot of women will put them there and just leave them there. And we all know the guy still wants some form of sexual attention, but this woman has blocked herself off from that because she's still waiting for maybe a possible bigger fish. But that a lot of the time that bigger fish don't really come, to where now you're just getting in more and more situations, you're getting more and more trauma built, and eventually you have so many women that say, like, yeah, he was there all along, and we'll finally end up get with him. But I'll be honest, man, for a lot of guys in the back of their mind, they know that they don't want to be there because you didn't choose him in the beginning. He was literally like the backup option. And that guy's never gonna feel happy in the end, unless he just really gung ho, but most likely he gonna be
I mean,
resentful.
yo, I've heard stories like dudes will wait for the snipe for
Yeah.
years after they get the box. That
Pew.
moves, them niggas going.
I've seen it. That shit happen, bro.
Yeah. So
That shit
I
is
mean, I,
real.
I think that's that revenge joint. You know what I mean? Like
It is.
you
It
had
is
some
revenge.
waiting for so long. You know what I mean? Like, let me ask you this, man. Do you think females is fronting and that they know deep down that them niggas just want the buns, man? Talk to me, man. Because
I
it's because they act like they are so oblivious to the fact that their male friends don't want to smash.
I think they know. I would hope that they know that in a man's biology, it's just gonna be natural. That guy definitely wants it. A lot of chicks though think that the guy doesn't want any sex. It's just a friend. Like I've seen on Fresh and Fit plenty of times to where the women will call their friend. They'll be, she'll say that no, he doesn't want anything. We're just friends, and she'll call him up, and they'll create a little skit. Pretend like you drunk and say why we never worked out. And there's been so many situations where the female is basically the guy was like, we just never had the opportunity, and then he's feeding into it, and then she just like, I didn't know you really like me. Yeah, most guys will always jump in and wanna bust a chick down. We always waiting for that interaction. So I think if women understood men a little bit better, understood biology, they would possibly be able to deal with the fact that a lot of guys gonna be able to bust it down. That's around them. That's what I think.
I think most women they know what time it is. They just don't
Mhm.
care. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
I think and yeah, I might get a lot of smoke for this, but I just got to keep it a buck.
Okay.
Like, yo, just because a female is emotional doesn't mean that she's empathetic. She's just an
Mm,
emotional creature. So
that is
I don't
true.
think she has even the ability to empathize for somebody other than herself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They
You know
don't care
what I'm
about the
saying?
male experience. No,
Right.
a lot of chicks they do not care about the male experience. I've talked to plenty of females to where I'll explain what men have to go through on a day to day. Just get better. Just do that. Yeah, it's like they don't really understand exactly the stress that's on a man when it comes down to just trying to compete with his peers and being better when we don't have anything to make us better. We can't put on makeup. We can't put on a bodysuit and get buff all of a sudden. We can't add stilts and just become 6 foot plus. It just does not work like that. You built what you built with, and then you have to build the characteristics. You have to then acquire money, which is not an easy thing as well to really become a successful guy. That takes work. So a lot of chicks don't even understand what it takes for these guys to be the guys that they are. They just see them. Ooh, that looks fun. And then that's it. But they don't look at the work. Even these streamers and stuff like that, your Casanas, these guys, they don't understand the amount of work that it took for these guys to put in. So to hop in that man life, you probably gonna try and ruin. A lot of them just gonna try and ruin the situation opposed to making it better. Is there a few out there that can make it better for sure? But a large majority, they really just want to come in and have a good time instead of a lasting time.
Now, I know you're probably well aware of the passport bros.
Yeah.
I want to get your opinion on this. Like, do you think uh, the future for the younger generation? Do you think those females got something to worry about? Because now, like, due to all this information that's out there based
Hmm.
on female nature, I think
Yeah.
niggas just hip to the game and they want to find something more traditional. The men that are like successful, like, yo, a lot of them are going overseas and wifing up broads out there. Now, I want to get your opinion on that. Talk to me.
I'm gonna say I think the females here they really not gonna care. They really not gonna care because ultimately, even to go over there, I was on a podcast talking about the passport bro movement or whatnot. It's still gonna be very situational for the guys because every guy not gonna be able to do it and sustain it. And I hate to say it that the Western world is starting to spread onto the women in these other countries to where they're starting to be more modernized and they thinking just like the regular average female here is thinking. Also, a lot of them still into the glitz and the glamour, the high life type of vibe. So can you go over there and find you something with less headache? Possibly, for sure. But I think it's not going to be feasible for a lot of guys to just up and leave. So I think a lot of the chicks, it's still going to be so many guys in their circle that they're going to just be able to dibble and dabble the guy that's in their circle. And if not, they can just go to another state. They can just travel a little bit. So the women are still going to outbeat the men when it comes to that passport bro movement for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because I used
Yeah.
to live in Central America, and
Hmm.
I had bread. You know what I mean, and
Yeah.
the average dude can't do something like that. I was out there for like
Nope.
2.5, 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I had a little
Even
business and
even
all
though it's
that.
cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off, bro. I was like, say, even though it's cheaper, it's still going to require you to be bringing in some form of resources or some entrepreneurial side, whether it's digital or some type of business front, something that you got going on, feeding you more money because you still gonna end up spending bread out there. You know.
To be real with you, it's more expensive. Let
Oh
me tell
wow.
you. Let me tell you why it's more. Now it's more expensive if you ain't got a dual citizenship. Know what I mean, like me, I
Mm,
got a dual citizenship to. Panama or whatever, so I
okay,
can move in and out with no problem. You know what I
that's
mean?
dope.
Well, I mean, they got new laws where they restrict us from doing something like that now because now they got the law set up to a point where it's mandatory for you to live in the United States. You know what I mean, for six
Mm,
months. So you can
okay,
do 6 months over there and then another 6 months there. But if you ain't got no fam, you know what I mean? You don't know the
okay,
culture. The people
yeah.
are gonna tax you, bro. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You gotta pay all kinds of fees or whatever. You know what I mean? And on
See,
top of that, you gotta watch out for immigration. They got immigration laws out there too. So if you're
ooh,
if your stamp on the passport
uh huh,
doesn't cover the date where you're supposed to be there, like say for
yeah,
instance, you come in, you tell them has like, yo, I need 2 months. I want to give you a month.
okay,
That that month, you better
okay.
be out going back to the States and coming back in, you know what I mean? So you
Oh
don't get
wow,
deported through their you know what I mean, immigration or whatever. So you gotta have bread to do that, man. You know what I mean?
yeah. And
I'm
that's what I'm
saying?
saying. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying, man. A lot of see, and I'm glad you just said that, bro. Because the stream I was on, that guy didn't even mention all that. Them countries still gonna get their money too. Don't think they ain't getting their bread. That the conversion possibly is not the same, but they still getting they gonna get their coins regardless. So for just to think that you about to go over there and it's about to just be an easier way of life, it's still gonna be for a guy who's already put himself in a position to where he's gonna be able to sustain that. But every guy, it's not gonna be feasible for the large majority. So I know that movement, yeah, is going on. You can go over there and get get you a real one, get you one that's gonna be very feminine and submissive. No, majority guys gonna have to stay their ass over here in their cities, in their states, and they gonna have to figure it out.
Now it's to a point where you can't even just live out there. I was
Yeah,
going for like 3 years. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You can't do that no more. You gotta be in the States at least 6 months. So you can
and
kiss that dream goodbye to be real with you,
and
man.
I'm not gonna lie, I would be nervous too being overseas like that, man. With you, man, you gotta think about it. Every country gonna have the bad guys, the villains. I don't want to deal with villains in places I don't that they capable of other shit. Opposed to, don't be wrong, we got people that's capable of shit over here, but you kind of know how to move in your own, land. But when it comes down to being overseas, man, these dudes might
But
chop
yo,
you up at a coconut tree.
here's the thing though, JB. A lot of
Yeah.
these dudes, and I'm not saying this
Okay.
to bash the past. I got mad
Yeah.
love for the passport bros movement, so I
Okay.
just want them to be well informed.
Yeah.
I mean, you can bag a wife out there, man, but yo,
For
you
sure.
gotta know the language and the culture. A lot of times, these niggas go out there not even know the language, man. You
Bruh.
know what I
About to
mean?
get finesse. They
Get
about to get
finesse
finessed out.
and possibly lose their life, man, because you
That's
can't
true.
get lined up out there. That mean.
They do not care about, man. You gotta think about it. You're an American. They not looking at you as like, oh man, he one of ours. No, you're gonna be looked at as possibly a problem. You can stir stuff up. They don't want to deal with all that. And possibly, yeah, they can get your ass in places you can't get out of, you know. And I think I would be more fearful on that side. I would rather go over there just to learn the country, learn the society. I would rather go learn that first before I just go out there just thinking I'm just about to just mesh myself into the culture like that, and I'm just about to get me a woman and it's just all smooth and dandy. Like, nah, things are just still very different. And a lot of people don't understand it, but I think a lot of guys are going there too for just for sex. And I think that's another thing that's not being talked about. A lot of these guys are just trying to
Yeah,
bust
now
chicks
here's
down
the thing.
raw.
I'm glad you brought that up
Yeah.
because there's uh there's rumors going around saying that there's a large percentage of people in the Dominican Republic that's
Mhm.
contracted HIV positive. Now they're
See?
saying like, yo, because of the Passport Bros movement, that's
Yeah.
because their HIV percentage has spiked up like that. I want to get your opinion on that.
I think that's definitely going down, man. You gotta think about it, bro. You get to you get to bust down baddies for like $5. You get to bust down baddies for $5, bro. That's crazy. So you best believe you in that situation and she talking sweet to you. She's saying everything you want to hear. Bro, them rubbers is getting snatched off. They doing it raw. You know, a lot of guys is gung ho. I know some dudes that be like, nah, bro, I'm raw all day. That's crazy. So now you going into these other countries where you got other guys who doing the same thing. And these women, they do it all the time, bro. That's why I say, and that's in that moment, I blame a lot of the guys in that situation because I hate to say it, we can't. A lot of us can't control our carnal desires. So once we get into those situations, the worst of us come out.
Yo, let me interject real quick. I think it's
Mhm.
very important to have self discipline because
Fact.
if you don't know the language or you don't immerse yourself with the culture, you're gonna get jammed up in a place like Dominican Republic. Now,
Yeah.
there's a dude that's going viral on TikTok, and he was breaking down the science on dealing with the pros out there. The
Yeah.
pros out there be extorting niggas. Let me tell you why
Oh.
how they be extorting niggas out there. Like say for instance, right? You got
Hmm.
spread, you
Yeah.
negotiate the price, y'all get
Hmm.
it in.
Yeah.
After he get done, you know what I mean, for
Yeah.
so for whatever, she gonna then raise the price, showing be like, yo, you better give me a stack, or I'm gonna go to the police saying that, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
non-consensual. Now,
Yeah.
now you jammed up because if you don't pay up, them boys come through. They taking
For
your passport. You getting booked. Know what I mean?
bruh.
So
So now
I just want dudes to be aware of something like that too.
that's
Don't
real.
just don't just go out there thinking things shit is sweet, man. You got to go out there that somebody is from out the local natives, man. Because if you don't, you're gonna get jammed up like that, man. Especially if you don't immerse yourself within the culture, you're gonna get jammed up. And I'm not saying it out of spite or hate. I just
Mm-mm.
want my passport bros to stay sucker free. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And,
I'm
and,
with
and
it.
not get jammed up like that. You heard? Know what I mean? I mean, yo, what's your thoughts on that? You think don't you think that's kind of insane how they extorting niggas out there like that, man?
That is crazy, but bro, that's very realistic, man. You gotta think about it, bro. These chicks got a lot of police officers in their back pocket. You know these guys busting them down too. So now if they can make an extra bag off of you for being goofy and thirsty, bro. They gonna make it happen. So I think that's man, you was cooking. That's great advice for a lot of these guys that just want to go over there and have a good time. You got to be situationally aware, because you could be in some shit that you're not gonna get out of, and they will chop you up way quicker than you gonna get chopped up in the states a lot of the time. Just being honest, like you gotta think about that.
Yeah, word is born. And you got to understand when you go to these countries, man, they don't
Hmm.
really like Americans like that, man. To
Mm-mm.
be real with you, man, they got
Yeah,
they it's not an envious thing. It's just don't like Americans,
they
man.
look at us as spoiled. We
Yeah,
look.
yeah, like yeah, spoiled brats, man. That's
Yeah,
that's inconsiderate, man. You know what I
exactly.
mean? So you know that, yeah, man. It's like yeah, they give you some nice hospitality, but in the back end,
Yeah.
yo,
Oh
niggas
yeah.
cooking up ideas on how to get your ass, man. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And
Yeah.
yo, and then and another thing, man, watch out if you're gonna go to DR, man.
Hmm.
You can't trust the Ubers, man. Don't fuck with them
Oh,
Ubers, nigga. Cause they will line your ass up too, nigga. A few niggas got clipped through the Ubers, man. Word is
that's
sport.
crazy.
So you
That's
know what I mean, y'all
crazy.
passport bros, y'all be safe out there. Word is sport, man.
Be safe, passport, bro. That's all we got to say for you. Be safe. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
just
be
crazy,
safe
man.
out there, man.
Yeah.
Cause they
Yeah.
don't love you, nigga. These hoes
Yeah.
don't love you, man. Cold world, man.
You know what? That's the thing about it, man. They'll say like I'm going over to get like a feminine, woman that actually appreciate me, but at the same time, bro, they gonna line you up too. That's why I say you just gotta understand female nature, man. You either gonna get with one that's like really trying to be on your team, or you gonna be on the opposite side of that, and that's gonna be the one that's trying to finesse you.
Yo, here's the thing. Now, I ain't gonna hold you, nigga. Like they be in their feminine bag. I can't even front. They on it, nigga. But
They
there's
own
a
it.
price for that, though, my nigga. Like
It
it's
is.
just it's not sweet. You know what I mean? If you can't read between the lines that you getting lined up, don't even go out there, my nigga. You know what I mean? You know
Bro,
what I'm saying?
I would not go out there as no green like they like to call the white guys gringo. I would not like to go out there like a
No,
gringo and
hold
just
on. I got to correct you on that. The word
yeah.
gringo don't mean white. It means North American. The
Oh,
word,
okay, all right.
yeah, it literally means North
Okay.
American. So whenever they call you a gringo, that means
Yeah.
you're North American. That's it. The color
I
got
bet.
nothing to do with it. You heard?
Okay, I appreciate the correction. So if you just a North American going out there, they automatically looking at you as like, okay, possibly a finesse. You know what I'm saying? I can get something up out of you. They not looking at you like, ooh, I'm meeting this guy. I just love him for some reason. No, it's always gonna be something that's gonna be getting pulled out of it. A lot of people think that you're gonna get something that's gonna be there for you for real, and it's like, nah, bro, it's all transactional.
It is, man. And it's not just American dudes too. Like there's natives that's
Yeah,
from out there get
yeah.
get hustled too. Know what I mean?
Oh,
A
wow,
lot of
yeah,
times they're linking with a broad out there. Sure to be fine too, nigga. Birdie's ball, fine.
bad.
But yo, the whole family and all them, you breaking them
Yeah,
off. You know what I mean?
yeah,
She gonna hit
facts.
you up like, yo, my mom need back surgery. Sell her a couple grand. She break that off with the fam, and they all in on it too. So you gotta be
Yeah,
aware of that too. Know what I mean? Gotta
and you
stay
know what?
sucker free out here, man.
I've seen that a lot to where, yeah, you'll have a lot of foreign chicks asking for you because I knew a guy that was dealing with a female that was overseas, and he said that she would hit him up consistently, asking him for money for like things for her family. It's always about the family. Like I said, they played a sympathy card on the guy, and of course for us, for the guy who never had nothing or never dealt with a female or had a female really appreciate him, his first instinct is to say, "I'm gonna give." I appreciate you. I'm gonna look out for you. Yeah, man. I want your family to be straight. But the whole time they splitting the money up. They going out. They using it for other things. So it's definitely a finesse situation, man. Like I said, you got to be careful with these mail order brides. A lot of that stuff is it's not what it seems to be, man.
Yeah, I mean, yo, that's a fact, 100% factual. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
it's a term Dominicans use. It's called chapeador. You know what I mean? It's
Okay.
which means gold digger. You know what I mean? And like,
Mm,
yo, when they moving that kind of like, yo, the whole family's down with it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
The uncle gonna know what time it is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The aunt, sisters, even the nieces and nephews, they
Yeah.
know you the cash cow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know you a
Yeah.
sucker, and they're gonna, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And they're gonna max it out to
Yeah.
to the max
And,
on playing you because you the lick, fam. You got to
and
be aware of that too. Know what I mean?
and that's why I think a lot of dudes be blind because to think that a woman in America is a gold digger and then to go over there and think that they are not is asinine because women they all want something and the ones here they might be able to hide it a little bit better but you're never gonna be able to just say that none of them want something. It's always gonna be something. You still have
Now
to.
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Mhm,
I don't want to totally X out
mhm.
finding a decent chick out there because you
Oh,
can.
for sure.
It's just that you got to know the culture. You got to immerse yourself with the culture. You got to know the language.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wherever you're gonna go overseas, because they do hold
yeah,
down that old school
yeah,
traditional style of being a white.
yeah,
Okay, I
yeah.
can't hold you. I can't front. They do. You know what I mean? They be in their feminine bag. What is wrong?
Yeah.
You know what I
It
mean?
just I guess what you're saying, it's the risk of going over there trying to find something possibly with all the negatives out of it. I understand exactly what you're saying. Yeah, it's probably is. That's why I say it's definitely gonna be women over there that's gonna be probably more feminine, wanting to hold down the guy, really, really, create that family situation. But at the same time, you still got to play the game over there like you do over here almost too, with still the discernment of what female it's gonna be. But a lot of the guys, they probably gonna go after what look good, the shiny candy first, and then that might not be the best one. You feel? I'm be honest, probably the ones over there, just like even over here, usually, not always, the best chicks is probably the ones who really like you and probably ain't the best looking. But of course, we don't always want to fall for that. I mean, we're visual creatures. So even over there, the guys gonna go over there, they're gonna get the shiny nugget first, and the shiny nugget is probably, you know,
Yo,
gonna
I can't hold you, nigga. When I was up in Panama, nigga, I
yeah,
had
look
all
at
kind
you.
of bitch. Yo, bro, these bro, man.
what I'm saying. So most guys are gonna go for the shiny nugget first, opposed to the chick that's probably gonna be less of a visual headache, or possibly is gonna bring bad characteristics in the long run. Even over there, a chick, if she fine, she knows she fine. She know what she can get. Like a lot of girls understand their beauty at an early age because they've been getting it for so long. You got some out there who don't understand it, but for a large majority, they know. The smart ones know, and they're gonna know exactly what they're gonna be able to get out of a guy, whether it be something serious, whether it be something quick, yeah. But usually it's the girls that's probably less attractive who are still good girls. Those are the ones I think a lot of guys pass up over. But a lot of guys don't want to grow with those chicks because you do have a certain set of females that get that look better throughout time, like the ugly duckling syndrome. You do have a certain situation of females that you get with. They're not the best looking, but as y'all get older, she hit 30, y'all done grew together. Damn, she looking better. She been working out, physical, amplifying. But I think to have the traits of a female that actually listen to you and want to follow you, I think that's better sometimes than even the physical aspect. Don't get me wrong, you definitely need the physical, but that mindset is gonna matter too for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I'm gonna pivot with the next question.
Mhm.
Yo, do you think social media has caused females to exercise hypergamy on steroids to the max? And if so, break down the science on that, King.
Yeah, definitely, because now you're not just in your local region anymore. You're not your small town. You're not a small town girl anymore. And you're not gonna find a small town boy anymore. So basically, you have access to everybody in your region, outside of your region, the states, countries, the whole nine, and you seeing too much too. So you're also seeing the big fish out there, who are doing more than the guys that are around you. So that's going to be a damaging thing to see on a consistent basis for the women who are really trying to seek better. They can really seek better, but it might put them in situations that's going to ruin them. Because guess what? Just because you seek the big fish, don't mean the big fish want you for the right reasons. The big fish probably going to just let you out. Probably just going to use and abuse you. There's no guarantee that you're going to be able to keep them. And once you get the big fish, can you keep them? Are you willing to do the things that he wants you to do? Because at that point, you're getting on his program. So I think that's what a lot of them don't understand is that yeah, with social media, man, it's definitely ruined the dating game for a lot of the local guys. But at the same time, I say that, but then you still have it's still a local game too, because every female ain't traveling, but it does open it up to where even if they're not seeking out guys in other states, they still seeing too much to where it makes them want even more than what's being offered around them. If that makes sense.
No, it do make sense, and
Okay.
I'm gonna elaborate what you just said. Like, yo,
Yeah.
a lot of times, and this is why I would never wife up a chick that has an Instagram. Period. Yo, any chick that's on the online, I don't care if she making money, man. She for the streets, but that's a different topic. But yo, any chick that's on the grams,
Mhm.
she's looking for a better option
Yeah,
always. I
that's true.
mean, she's not content with the dude that she's with. She's always gonna look for something better. That's why she's advertising herself online like that, man.
Yeah.
I want to get your personal opinion on that, man. I mean, do you agree with that?
Yeah, the ones who really want to show themselves off, it's always going to be trying to get validation from it. It's always going to be a validation factor. Because I mean, as much as a lot of chicks say they just post just to post, there's usually always to be a lure out there to get a bigger fish. The more she can expose more of her best parts physically, it's going to be some guy that is going to be able to that's going to want to click. Now I know a lot of chicks say that they ignore a lot of the DMs that they end up getting, but if that right DM come in, it's probably gonna get open. And then from there, it's still a fishing tool to still attract bigger and better guys. You got a lot of girls who possibly might respond to a blue check over someone who doesn't have a blue check. So now you looking at all that stuff. It's just hypergamy on steroids when it comes down to like social media game and all the guys that's probably gonna hit them up and they probably gonna go through with it. It's not gonna be that they're not gonna see that blue check or that celebrity or that artist and say, "Nah, I'm good." They probably gonna entertain it because it's definitely a big offer for
Word is born, man. I mean, I
them.
think you broke that down perfectly.
I appreciate it.
That's all I got, man. Yo, any last word for the people before we sign out, man?
Man, guys, make sure y'all just stay on your purpose and on your passion. Whatever it is, it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy. I'm not gonna sit here and try and tell you that it's just gonna be your peach sunshine and rainbows. But definitely if you can find yourself to say the why in something that you want to do, continue to do it. Honestly, I would say, and I know some people might not agree with this, but I would say push off the feeling of just wanting female validation early on. Too much of it. I'll say that because a lot of us we seek too much validation in females who really don't appreciate us or care about us. I'm not gonna lie, I did that at one point in my 20s, and like I said, I felt like I kept myself stagnant by trying to chase females. And I got to a point where I say, no, it's gonna have to be about you. You're gonna have to focus on yourself. You're gonna have to be the man that you want the females to want to be around. And then from there, you can build yourself up and you can get exactly what you want and play it out like that.
Yo, word is born, man. I appreciate you coming through. You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying? I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, brother. I definitely appreciate it, man. This was dope.
Yo, word is born, man. I
Yeah.
just appreciate you coming through. Yo, man, if you need anybody toxic on your panel, hit me up, man. I'm your guy.
Hey,
I'm kidding. I'm
hey,
kidding. I'm kidding.
if you want to be on, let me know, man.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'll hit you up for that, man.
For sure. Yeah, email me.
Yeah, man. Yo, it's your boy Rush. This interview's officially over. Seek wisdom, practice humility, and always remain sucker free. You heard? I'm out. One. Later, Jay.
Peace,
Peace.
brother. Peace.